What if a single fruit tree held the key to understanding the end of the world? In the heart of the Olivet Discourse, Jesus gave his disciples a short, cryptic parable that has sparked over 2,000 years of debate. Is it a historical record of a city's fall, or a ticking clock for our future? Today we are diving into the parable of the budding fig tree, with extreme detail to uncover what it really means for us today. In Matthew chapter 24, Jesus says, "Now learn the parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth its leaves, you know that summer is near. So you too, when you see all these things, recognize that he is near, right at the door." He adds a shocking kicker. This generation will not pass away until all these things take place. But what are all these things, and which generation was he talking about? To understand the parable, we have to look at the world Jesus lived in. Fig trees were a staple of life in Palestine, valued for their sweetness and nutrition. In the Middle East, it was a known biological fact. When a fig tree puts out leaves, it is expected to bear fruit simultaneously. Therefore, leaves were a sign of potential and authenticity. Just as budding leaves reliably signal that summer is coming, Jesus argues that specific signs in the world reliably signal his return. This is where it gets intense. Scholars are split into two major camps. First, we have Preterists. They argue this parable was a warning for the first century. Scholars like R.C. Sproul and N.T. Wright believe the budding referred to the Roman armies approaching Jerusalem. To them, all these things were fulfilled in AD 70 when the temple was destroyed. They argue this generation meant the people standing right in front of Jesus. But then you have the Futurists. They argue that because Jesus mentions cosmic disturbances, the sun darkening and the Son of Man coming on the clouds, these events haven't happened yet. Futurists like John Walvoord and Arnold Fruchtenbaum suggest the fig tree represents the national restoration of Israel, or the specific generation that sees a rapid-fire sequence of global birth pangs, like wars, famines, and earthquakes. The most debated phrase is, "This generation will not pass away." If Jesus meant his contemporaries, did he fail? Preterists say no. He was talking about the end of the Jewish age. However, Futurists counter that this generation refers to the future group that witnesses the specific signs mentioned in verses 4 through 31. In this view, once the leaves start budding, the final events will happen so fast that the generation who sees the start will also see the finish. Don't confuse this with the other fig tree story, the barren fig tree. In Luke chapter 13, Jesus tells of a tree that bore no fruit for 3 years and was threatened with being cut down. While the barren tree is a warning about spiritual fruitlessness and judgment, the budding tree in Matthew chapter 24 is a message of hope and alertness. It tells believers to straighten up and lift up your heads, because redemption is drawing near. Jesus concludes that while the fig tree gives us a season, no one knows the exact day or hour. He compares the world's attitude to the days of Noah. People were eating, drinking, and marrying, totally unaware of the coming flood until it was too late. The takeaway: don't be paralyzed by the options of life, like Sylvia Plath's famous metaphor of a starving girl sitting under a fig tree unable to choose a fruit. Instead, Jesus calls his followers to, quote, "do business until he comes." Whether you believe the fig tree bloomed in the past or is budding right now, the message remains the same. Stay vigilant. The signs are there for a reason. Are you watching the branches? If you found this deep dive into biblical prophecy fascinating, hit that subscribe button and let us know in the comments. Do you think we are living in the summer the fig tree promised? Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes on the skies.